is Namrata Jain, and I am a psychologist by profession. I have also done my hypnotherapy, and I'm an art-based therapist. To talk about what the situation right now is when it comes to mental health, we are slowly moving towards awareness. I do see that from the time when Deepika Padukone has confessed, and also the number of suicides that we see these days are increasing. Awareness of depression from the media perspective has increased. The number of initiatives that have started to make sure that people are more mentally fit are really at the rise, and I believe there is good amount of awareness being spread. People are still a little not okay with opening up yet, but we do see that slowly, gradually, people are coming forth and taking some help, which is a very positive sign, particularly knowing that depression is becoming the most widespread disorder that's going on today. Some of the signs that you would mainly notice is complete loss of interest in doing anything. This is very, very common with somebody who's depressed. At the same time, eating habits are very poor. The person does not get enough sleep, is unable to sleep for that matter. At the same time, also is lonely most of the time, doesn't like being around people, is completely by himself or herself, and also if you see professionally or personally, is unable to perform at the best level that that person can. These are some of the signs that you will notice as a layman to know whether you need to make sure to go and check if that person requires any form of help. There was a time when the whole concept of pagal ho gaye ho, was on, where people would feel if somebody who would not be able to connect with the normal social surrounding, the first statement that would come is wo pagal ho gaya hai, and today now it has come to a stage where people have started accepting, understanding that okay, there is something which is away from the normal that is going on with me, and I need to seek help for the same purpose. People are also aware that there are counselors out there, there are professionals who've been trained to take care of these kind of concerns, and people do take a step ahead and move out to seek that sort of help. I also go to organizations and institutes where initially when the whole concept of employee assistance programs, which is a mental health concept, it was introduced in these corporates. We could hardly see a 3 to 4% of people using these kind of services, which are actually sponsored by the employer. But today, on the other hand, we are seeing that there are at least 15% of people using these services in, say, 4 to 5 years, which we see as a very positive sign. Even a rise of 10% is a really good sign. Not only that, people have, for that matter, started understanding that even if I am not going through something that's severe, I still need to be mentally fit, and I need to be precautious of taking care of my mental health. So people do come just with the idea of what can I do to make sure that I'm mentally fit. So it's not like I have got the disease and then I'm coming. Even if on a normal basis, what can I do to take care of myself is something that people are more open to, from understanding it from a psychologist or a mental health practitioner's perspective. So for example, if you see some of the signs like I mentioned, you see that somebody around you is facing that particular, some of the signs and symptoms, and you see that okay, there is some sort of hint of slight depression also happening, the first step would be to just be there for that person, give a listening ear. Because that's something that most of us require today. We need somebody to give us that little time to hear us out. So that would be one of the things that you would would be great if you can give it to that person. At the same time, do not come forth as somebody who's trying to sympathize with that person, because it's not sympathy that that person needs. That, for example, there are so many people who are even at a worse stage in life than you, but you have so much more yet left. That's not the correct way to go about it. It would rather be as empathizing with that person, that I understand that you're going through something, but at the same time I'm always there for you. I'm ready to be a support system and provide you with that help that you require at this moment. What otherwise you can do is get that person involved into something which makes that person happy. So for example, some hobby class or something that person you are aware of that your friend or your ex-person really likes to do. Involve them into that particular thing that they really like to do, because that changes the thought process and the mood that that person is in most of the times. What you can also do is make sure that the food that that person is eating is taken care of, because food has a great connection to do with our mind. Like we say, the mind-body connection. So what you actually feed in is what you are seeding in for you to think through. So your thoughts are connected to your food also to a great extent. What you can also do is I would not recommend any sort of meditation for the person who is close to going through depression, because meditation takes you through even more getting into the awareness of your thoughts, and at that time, because the thoughts are so many, that person will go through even more deeper form of depression, which is something that we should avoid doing. So mainly be there, that's the most important. Also you can at times make the person understand that professional help is there, and you could recommend that person to someone who can professionally take care of it. Make sure that you are not doing something that you are not aware of and do not know how to handle, because if you do even a smaller thing in a wrong way, that may affect the person far more than what that person was at the stage. So it's always better to seek professional help in these cases, because they've been trained for that particular thing. Last one, that is the most important, is don't forget to take care of yourself first. That is the primary requirement. Even if your friend or your relative is going through it, it's important that you take care of yourself first, and then make sure that the other person is fine. So on a regular basis, as a parent or a teacher, what is most important is for you to be absolutely non-judgmental towards the child. Let the child be able to express whatever he or she is feeling, whether it is good, bad or worse. It's very important to, again, on the other side, be a person who's listening without any judgments. Because a child comes and shares with a parent or a teacher with complete trust and with the idea that they will understand. So it is important for us to openly listen to what is there, and based on that, then further you can guide the child or inform the parent or teacher, whoever is taking care of it otherwise. The second thing that is the most important is to encourage children. Make sure that you compliment them on the smallest of things that they do, because anxiety is something which I think every person at some stage in life faces, and encouragement is the best way to get the person out of it. So encouragement is another thing that I would recommend. At times, even rewarding need not always be materialistic, especially with children, but in various different ways you could reward them. For example, giving them some extra time for play, or taking them to the park sometimes, or making them have their favorite food as a reward when they have really accomplished things. This would make sure that their confidence rises. And the fourth thing that I would say is indulge them into exercise, which is extremely important. Good food, good diet, exercise, and a little bit of yoga or meditation is equally important. Nowadays, the amount of stress levels that the education system also has, to some extent calmness is required so that they can handle all the pressure that comes from the other end much better. When it comes to taking care of yourself or keeping yourself mentally fit on a regular basis, I would suggest 3 areas to be taken care of, which is your body, your mind, and your spiritual side as well. Few things that you can do on a regular basis is, first and foremost, give some time completely to yourself. I think 10 minutes to 15 minutes in the day completely by yourself is extremely important. I think we all deserve that little time for ourselves. So that is the first recommendation that I would give. Second one is, make sure that you involve yourself in some form of exercise, at least in some form of walking on a regular basis, or you can indulge into yoga or Zumba or any form of exercise which is suitable to your own body. Third one is to take care of the food that you eat. Any sort of junk food is junk food to your mind. So make sure to eat food which makes you makes you think and feel good at the same time, because food has a great impact on the emotions that you go through. The fourth one that I would recommend is follow your passion or your hobby along with your profession that you do on a regular basis to earn a living, because any form of passion or hobby makes us really happy, and I see that as an integral part on a regular basis for someone to take care of self. At the same time, it also somewhere brings out a lot of self-awareness about ourselves, which is important from a spiritual angle. For you to know at what point in time your thought process is taking you where is very important. Meditation of 5-10 minutes helps you take care of aligning your thoughts, because the mind is like a software. Whatever you feed in, whatever you program is the way it's going to give you a result. So it's very important to program it right. So in that case, these 3 main areas that I would recommend that you take care of all 3 at the same time on a regular basis, and you'll be absolutely mentally fit.